Hello and welcome back. This is episode 12 of Vulcan Getting Started. Let's make ourselves some insulated pipes here. We have a lot of plumbing to do this episode. In the last couple episodes, we've been upgrading our furnace. First, we captured some daytime hot air, and then we set up a system to superheat the air. And this episode, we want to set up a system where we mix the superheated air with the coldest air we have, which in this case is this air, which is our nighttime air. Now we want to go across here. We're going to have to go all the way over to where our furnace is. That's why we need so many pipes. Let's take one of those. Let's make some more orange pipes here. And we'll keep going. Turn a corner here. And then we'll go up right here. Good. That's since we just added a bunch of volume to that system, it's now trying to fill it. That's why all those vents are on again. Let's go around to where we want to put the mixer. We built the mixer in the last episode. It's going to go right here in the middle, pointing upwards. And we don't want to mix this purple stuff. This is the daytime hot air. It's not the superheated air. So we don't actually want that into the mixer. We want to mix orange with pink. Pink is our superheated. So let's route that over to the mixer. Now this is going in input 1 of the mixer. We have to be very careful of that. We have to know which is which input. So the one that's straight through is input 1, the other one's input 2. So this is input 2. Let's just make some more orange ones here. Good. Now up here we actually just want to pipe it. Let's make some more orange pipes. We want to pipe it in there. We won't need this filtration unit anymore as a pump. We can save that atmospheric kit for something else. And let's go take apart this. And we might as well, while we're up here, just remove all these non-insulated pipes. We have enough insulated pipes now. Let's just replace them with insulated pipes. Before we forget where that is, let's hook these back up. And we get a cross piece here. And then this one, you see how it goes down into towards the furnace? We have to make sure that we make an elbow here and that it goes down like that. And then we need another one going towards the back. Okay. And then from there we can just hook up to our gas mixer output, and this is how we're going to input essentially whatever temperature gas we want between those two temperatures. Very good. The other thing we have to do is we have to have a way, at least temporarily, to turn it on. Let's remove these. Now this is hooked up through our transformer switch. So for now, let's just do this manually, where we turn on the mixer whenever we turn on that transformer. We'll automate it at some later point. Okay, that's all hooked up there. And let's have a look at our two temperatures here, and let's write them down. So that's 1652.1 degrees Celsius. I'm going to write that down. That's our temperature of input 1. And this is 127.3 degrees Celsius. That's our low temperature. That's the temperature of input 2. We're going to need those later. Okay. So we're going to have to test out our mixer here. So let's get rid of all that stuff. While we're waiting, let's just store some stuff away here. Stuff we don't need till later. We're going to need a memory chip. So let's make a logic memory. We're going to use the logic memory as the way to input the desired temperature into the system. Okay, so we filled, that didn't turn on. We didn't get any. It's probably because we didn't actually turn the mixer on. Let's go and do that. It's all hooked up. Yeah, there it is. Mixer's not on. Give ourselves a shot of air, and we've got 663. So at 50-50 mix, we're getting 663. Now, this mixer is not linear when you're dealing. It's very important that we have both atmospheres that we're mixing are the same contents for this to work, but you end up having, you get a lot more of the cold gas. So let's set it up to, say, 75-25 of hot versus cold. I wanted to get it up over 1,000. Let's see here. We've emptied it out. Let's try that again. Okay, so 986 Kelvin. That's pretty close. So with the 75-25 mix, we're still, that's more like halfway between the two temperatures. Let's name this as temperature memory. And let's set that to default value, something like 1300 up there, where we can smelt some of our next alloys. And we're going to need to tie that into the network eventually, so let's just put that piece of wire there. And while we're thinking about it, let's just tie it in here. It won't be that useful at the moment, because we're not automating the gas mixer setting yet, but we'll put that there. So, oops, I jumped off the edge. Okay, so let's try a little bit higher. I wanted 1,000 degrees, so let's try an 80-20 mix, which you would think would be a lot hotter than it is, but you have to get really close to the high end. Okay, so that's empty again. Let's try this. Oh, 1.09, so 1090. That's good. Very good. Now's actually a good time to do some mining. We need to collect all the things we need to make our alloys. And looking at our steel levels, we need some more steel. So let's get mining. All right. Well, it's the middle of the day already. I stayed out until I had enough to make steel, Invar, and Constantan. Whew. So yeah. Let's fill these up. I need a pit stop. Let's make some food too. We'll cook this up. Grab that. Might as well throw that in here. Pick up these two. And we're back in business. do some quick eating. And we'll drink some water. We'll die a little bit less. There we go. Turn that off. And here we go. All right, now we're in business. So we've got this thing making gas hot enough to make some steel, so let's make some steel. Start with those, and 2 more of those. Oh, I dropped one. Aha, that's how I did that. Very good. Yeah, there's quite a bit of pressure in there. Let's start draining that out. It's all too cold to make steel anyway. 558. Let's rearrange this. Yep, that's good. Okay, so I think we have to go up to 1 megapascal. Yep, that's good. Pop it. I guess we'll set that there for now. Good. So what's the next thing on our list? Well, we could maybe start some programming. Yep. So the new input that we have is our memory, temperature memory, D4, and we're going to have a switch, D switch, I guess, to control the gas mixer. D5, we haven't made the switch or connected it, did we? Now, well, let's make a logic switch. We could actually use the transformer as the switch and read the data, but anyways, it's going to work better as a switch. Okay. So we've got the temperature memory and the switch. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to be able to turn or control the gas mixer with the switch. That's pretty simple. So we'd load into R0 from D switch setting. It's actually weird. It's not the on or anything. It's the setting variable. So then we want, we don't actually have the gas mixer attached and we're out of screw terminals. So let's just do a batch rate. It'll be the only gas mixer on the network. So we'll go up here, we'll define gas mixer hash with this number, and then we'll set batch to gas mixer on from the R0 variable. There, now the switch will control the gas mixer. Now we want to control the gas mixer to get the right temperature. And here is our, I'm getting this off the wiki. I actually put this on the wiki. So this only works if you have exactly the same constitution of gases in both inputs. So 100 over T1 minus, or T2 minus T1. And then we need to multiply that by T1 times T2 over our temperature memory, or setting, minus T1. So T1, remember, is our gas at input 1, which in this case is our hot gas. And T2 is the cold gas. It's the gas at input 2. So just to make our lives easier, let's define the variables or the values that we had. So this is temperature 1 in Celsius and temperature 2 in Celsius. Temperature 1 was 1652, temperature 2 was 127.3. But we really have to do this in Kelvin, so let's make some new variables here. T1 and T2, R7 and R8. And we only have to compute these once, so let's do that before the start loop. So we'll add T1C and 273.15 to get T1, and T2 is just T2 in Celsius plus 273.15. So now we've got those two defined. Now there's some other things that we can pre-compute here. So this 100 over T2 minus T1, since those are constant temperatures, we can pre-compute those. So let's make a new variable that we'll just call mix factor. I don't like that. Mix constant, maybe. New variable, new register. And we'll actually pre-compute that. So that's 100 over T2 minus T1. So let's do the subtraction first. We'll store it in the temporary variable R0. And that's T2 minus T1. And then we'll do the division. So divide, store it in R0. No, that's wrong. We store it in the mix constant. We need 100 over the result from the subtraction. So that is our mix constant. That's what we multiply by at the beginning of the formula. So then there's another thing we can pre-compute, which is T1 times T2. So let's just call that T1 times T2. Put that in register 10. And we'll do that here. We'll do a multiply. T1, T2 is T1 times T2. And then we just always have that value ready. We don't have to compute it every time through the loop. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is our division. And we want to do T1 times T2 divided by our memory variable, but we didn't actually do that. So let's make a new variable here. Our temperature set point in R11, and we'll have to load that in every loop. So our temperature set point comes from D temperature mem, and it's the setting variable from the memory. So whatever we put in there, it goes into temperature set point. Let's copy that. And then let's paste that here. So we're dividing T1 times T2 over Tmem. Next step is we have to subtract. So we'll take the result in R0, subtract T1 and put it in R0 again. And then we just have to multiply by that pre-computed ratio. What did we call that? Mix constant. Good. And then now we have to send that over to the gas mixer, and that's the setting variable. And that's it. That's about the most complicated thing that we've done. It's a very non-linear equation, but it helps so much because you can just type a temperature you want in Kelvin, and it actually mixes it and gives you exactly that temperature. I missed the logic switch. I'm just going to hook that up, but let's do it from this side. Take that off. And let's make a switch. It's just an on-off switch. Store that away. And I can't get at there's actually power to the bottom of it. We'll have to go to the back to disconnect it just to make sure that it's not affecting a different network. Should be fine. But I don't want it polluting another network. Let's remove that there. Good. Okay, so that is connected onto that one, but we don't have it connected down to the controller chip. Now make sure we turn off that gas mixer. Let's just connect down here into this other network with the IC10 chip on it. Good. see. Oh, that's at 5.8 almost. Okay, let's go get this IC10 chip and put our program into it. We'll turn off power to our AC and everything. Might as well turn off the program. Go in here, put it in our programming socket, export it, and go put it back. Turn that on. It's not happy because we need to set the screw terminals. So this is, I'm floating around. Can I stand down here? Let's try it. Ooh, I can just reach them. So this is temperature memory. And then the one below it is the switch. There it is. Turn it back on. Good. Turn the power back on. Everything looks good. Now, you are set to 8713, so it's doing something. It's actually increased. And if I turn this on, it turns off again because the switch is controlling it. So that seems to be working. So I think the question is, are we getting the right temperature? And I don't like the look of that battery. I don't know. Let's throw a tiny bit of coal in here. I guess it's fine. Three bars is still fine. It's the middle of the night. Okay, let's empty this out. And we're at what? 1300 is what we set it to? 0. Let's see what we get here. On 1.3, yeah. 1300. So it mixed perfectly. Nice. So really we can set it to any temperature between those two. So let's see, we want to make some Invar, which needs 1.2 to 1.5 kilokelvin, and it needs 18 to 20 MPa. Let's look at Constantan. It's a little colder, 1.0 to 10, but it needs more pressure. So let's do Invar first. And that is nickel and iron. Let's put those in there and start the melting. I'm doing this first because after we finish this, then we're going to throw in the other stuff, and the temperature is going to go down and the pressure is going to go up, which is the right direction for Constantan. Okay, so let's empty this out. And then let's start filling. Now this is going to take a while. But it's filling, it's exactly 1.3 or 1300 Kelvin, which is right in the range to make Invar. So we just need to get it up over 18 MPa. Might as well do a pit stop. Let's cook some food here. While we're waiting, just don't forget that you left the the switch on. That would be a nice safety addition to add. Make sure it turns off automatically. Okay. All right, good. Let's see how we're doing here. Well, about 7 MPa, so we're getting there. We're not halfway. Let's check on our greenhouse. See how we're doing in there. I think there was some waste we had put in there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, there we go. So let's grab you. What temperature are you at? Oh, you're at room temperature. You're good. Let's throw you in here and turn on. Oh, yeah, 29 degrees in here. Okay, so we just bumped up the pressure a little bit and the amount of oxygen, obviously. And so that's pumping out a little bit more oxygen than it normally does. It'll bring it back down. And how are you doing? Yeah, there's always this one over here that's damaged. Anyways, let's get some tomatoes off the vine. Replant. Never hurts to have some fresh tomatoes. Okay, let's throw these tomatoes in here while we're thinking about it. And how are we doing? Okay, almost 16. We're getting closer to 18. Let's fix this meter. It's not working again. Every time I load, it doesn't work. I don't really get it. Okay, we're at 6.4. Let's top up our oxygen then. And we're at 17.5. That's getting pretty close. 18. Turn it off. Awesome. So, Invar. Nice. And let's make somewhere to put this. Make a locker so we can make a shelf. These round ingots like to roll around. Okay, so we're going to use this as the basis for our load of Constantan. Let's throw this in there. No, you go in there. I know you don't want to. It's rather warm. There we go. And let's make our shelf here. And you go in there. Then I won't lose you. Okay. So we're going to get 100 of each. Copper and nickel. And alright, so we're almost at the pressure we need. And we still got lots of temperature. We have to be over 1,000 temperature. We're still good. Let's add a little bit more of the hot stuff. And good. We got everything we need. There's some Constantan. Stick that up here too. Now we can make printer mods. Electronic printer mod. Okay, we need steel and we need Constantan. That we have. Let's just pop all the steel out. Oh, interesting. Where did you come from? Okay, 40. Let's just stick all of that in there. And Constantan. Probably don't want to put all of it in there. Let's split this in half. We are going to make some mods, so let's just split those in half. We'll put half in there and we'll keep half on the shelf just in case. Good. Alrighty. Now, Invar. Should I split you as well? I think that's a good idea. Stick you there. Things to do while we wait for mods to print. How are you doing? Oh, yeah, you're okay. Guess we could fill water bottles. Can't really do anything till we get that going. We are going to need a tool printer mod next. Oh, yeah. that's something I could fix. Can't really do it that easily from inside. Oh, and it's so hot out. Do I care that it's so hot out? I don't think I care. Yeah, I'm good. Let's just go fix that. We'll be quick about it. Okay. First, I'm gonna go turn all this off. Oof, I'm fighting against the air currents here. That's good. Alrighty. Let's remove all these. Good. And let's go turn the switch back on. There we go. Nice. Yep, it's working. Let's get back inside. That was toasty. And now we have a mod. Alright, upgraded. Now we need another mod. We need the tool printer mod. More steel. Okay, you don't have steel. There's steel. Yeah, that's good. Build tool printer mod. Alright, that's better. Throw that on the shelf. Put that there. Yeah, it looks much better. Okay. Well, my not really much to do. I could fix my solar panels. Sometimes after I reload, after I've repaired them, they're damaged, but they aren't. One thing I could do is figure out what I need to make a heavy mining drill, since that is my ultimate goal here this episode. Alright, I need steel, electrum, Invar, and solder. Very good. There's Invar. Let's make some steel. Stick that in there. Where did you come from? Okay. Steel, let's see. And then I needed some electrum, I think. You have electrum. Just enough. Let's do it this way. There it is. Okay. No, I don't want everything out of it. Okay, electrum. We're gonna have to split something maybe. Aha, we got the mod. Let's weld it on. Good. Heavy mining drill. Ah, okay. Invar, solder. You have solder. I don't feel like making more solder right now. You have a lot of solder. Oh, there it is. Let's put you in there. You can go back in here. And the last thing is Invar. Should I split it? Yeah, let's throw it all in. Here we go. Oh, nice. You can go back in there if I turn you off. All right. Not going to need you anymore. 82%, you're almost done. All right. Going to need the battery though. You go on the shelf. And you... Oh yeah. That's nice. Cool. End of another good episode. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you next time.